Right. Sort of screwed up the deployment of units after the previous mission ended, so that's why it's probably not included in this. Basically, what happened is I forgot to deploy things properly, so I basically load and tried to redo the same thing, but I couldn't. The unit selection that I could buy for the mission changed, so it would basically make it totally worthless for me to include the purchasing section of such units in the recording, because it's not these units anyway. What happened was that we didn't have access to any kind of extra helicopters or strike elements, but when I loaded the game we had access to them. So shrug, don't know how it happened. Main difference is that we have more helicopters this time. Previously because we had like 300-400 points to spend, and nothing in a city environment, almost nothing makes sense. So I just bought a lot of paladins because they have the heat shots, 5 of them, and in this environment they can act as long-range artillery. They can destroy buildings, and with those 5 shots they can even take down tanks if we basically overwhelm them. And we did still have our own helicopters and all that, so yeah, just a little bit of a different group. Mm, Visibility is amazing. I don't have a huge amount of time, we have a long distance to go. I'd like to scout out with a helicopter. Do they have anti-air? Rather, how much anti-air capability do they have? Someone's going to have... Where is it? It's in a location that it needs a helicopter to target it. I'm not interested in the AI to K units all that much. I'm interested in knowing when the enemy starts to have ambushes. That gives me an idea where do I need to start shooting smoke. I'm seeing something, not sure what I'm seeing. I spotted another unit. So at the latest, they're here. I'm trying to see if anyone could see it without moving too much. How much mobility do you have? 59, that's a lot of mobility. That's still more like it. So there's some fighting before the bridges, but the real big ones are waiting after the bridge. Not exactly a huge shocker. Okay, who else? Well, it doesn't really matter if we even get any kills here. I mean, it's great if we do, but it doesn't matter. It was important to locate where the trouble starts. Not a healthy place for you to be. Right. I don't think I'm gonna fire on any other targets. Ooh, that's an exception. Definitely. Where is it? Yeah, we have a good location against that target from here. Anything else? A couple of extra super cobras. 3 extra ones. Right. Worthwhile targets. Perfect. But we're still too far away to really attack anyone. A tank should be within our reach. Right, I don't think we can really hit it from here. Still, we might as well shoot. One waste missile is gonna cost us much. Is that it? Pretty much, yeah. So a little bit closer, doesn't really matter where. Okay, so that's really the important part of this first turn. We need to produce some smoke with the rest. I'm not sure where we should try to shoot it. That should provide fairly good cover for us, really. Shoot at the... Oh, thank God. Super Cobras will pretty much pull out their teeth, but they cannot really be used alone to assault anything. We do have plenty of them though. But that's not exactly true. If they have infantry anti-air, then we're in a little bit more trouble. Because you have to go so close to the helicopters to effectively counter them. Anti-air. The thing is, these will not hit anything if they move this much in a turn. So we're just sort of hoping that they don't have anything. The UEs can come and pick these up later. We're not 100% protected where we are with the helicopters, but I don't think any intact unit should be able to see us. At the same time, I can't exactly guarantee that. So we should at least be a little bit careful. The UEs are mainly for mines at this stage. I don't even know if the enemy has them or not. But they're pretty much the only ones who could deal with such a problem if it occurs. I was expecting a little bit more from them, but city environments sort of are like this. It's very, very, very tough to be able to fire on a target with multiple units. It is not easy. We do have anti-tank capabilities, not really all that much anti-air. Still, they're in fairly good shape. We caused them some casualties and they did not give a crap about that. Someone else needs to take a shot. We got a little bit of suppression out of that. Massively reduces accuracy, even a single point. Right, where's their anti-air unit? I'll move that ground unit first this time. Because they can mostly just fire smoke in front of them and that'll be it. I'll use the helicopters to get rid of any problems that pop up. Right. Wait the goddamn minute. Why the hell can't I shoot there? Because I can't see shit. Huh. Yeah, paladins can't actually see through smoke. Everyone else pretty much can, but not these guys. Yeah, whatever you do, don't hit the goddamn target hex. Certainly have more smoke, we have more shots, so what's the problem? No problem. Okay, still, we have no idea what's in these houses, so better be a little bit careful. At least there's... yeah, we need someone to shoot smoke here. I mean, give me a goddamn break, just shoot a little bit forward on the goddamn road. Thank you. Okay, we do need to do something with the helicopters then. But if we're scouting, we should use these. Or should we? It's sort of like, with the ground units are better to flush these out of the buildings, but the problem is I'm not sure if these are the only units here. So it's much more important to try to figure out that one out first. Right, so we basically might be able to bring a artillery piece here and shoot that building away. Or not. Still not quite close enough. Okay, this should allow the vehicles to come a little bit closer. If there are enemies here, I'm not safe. Similar situation here. We need to push as close as we can. Ooh, someone has to go and take a look though. Still, it's fairly clear that this is intended as a warm-up mostly. At the same time, it's also very painfully clear that there's probably another enemy force here. I'm just sort of going past it because I don't have to fight it. We'll have to be aware of it because they're very likely going to pull back and try to retake these. So we need to secure all flag areas by leaving troops there. There's definitely a new tank shooting at us. I have no idea where this is. Ah. Right, not too bad. No real need here for a helicopter. We could take a look. Right, so there's a few infantry squads to these. And 82 units. We don't really need to take care of these units at the moment. At the same time, it doesn't really feel right leaving them there. I mean, if they're already injured before I have to face them, they're not going to be able to cause all that much trouble for me. Fired all their missiles already. And that's it. Can you shoot at the tank? I'm pretty sure there was a tank somewhere. Multiple tanks. Right, we don't need to get the tank right now, but there's no way we can go over the bridge as long as the tanks are in position. It's way too risky. Don't feel comfortable leaving the units this close. I can easily miss at least one infantry squad somewhere, and even an infantry squad can damage or drive away a helicopter if it fires from more close enough. So it would be embarrassing to lose a helicopter that way. Holy shit, do you see a target? You see a human being. That's not all that much of a target for us. Also, these units were never thought to be all that useful in this mission. More or less just going with the flow. There hasn't been any air action, no, not even artillery fire, so we can probably be confident that there are no massive enemy groups that can do indirect fire on our troops. Enemy destroyed. Yeah, that's it's a nasty angle. I'm not sure if I'm seeing through the smoke or not, but uncomfortable place to be when an anti-tank missile group can aim at your units. So better let it be for now. Same thing here. More or less just gonna hold my position. I think we could use more smoke here. I mean, if there's any kind of missile in those structures, it can certainly fire on us. We would want it somewhere here, but I'm not sure if any of these units can still fire. At least one more helicopter can do something. Do they even have that many vehicles still left? I think it's mostly infantry at this point. Right. Crew and rifle squads. Nothing particularly interesting. So I'm guessing that it's pretty safe to say that there are not going to be any mines or things like that. Or if it is, it's definitely on the bridge. We do have a few paladins still left. So we can add a little bit of smoke here. Might not amount to much. I'm much more comfortable with the smoke there. Fairly pathetic. The only missile team we see is the only one that can fire, and that was pretty pathetic too. I think it's the main problem is that the AI does not prioritize the anti-air capabilities sufficiently. We just have too easy of a time stripping their AI capabilities, and that's it. A couple of shoulder-mounted missiles would be much more effective than the expensive vehicles. They're easy to spot, they're easy to take out with missiles, and that's pretty much all they can ever do. Infantry much harder to spot, and accuracy is probably better because the missile has to be evaded every time it's fired on a helicopter. Cannon fire doesn't really force evasive maneuvers on us. Okay, what are we gonna do? We have the helicopters, so it would be foolish not to use them as scouts. Located their mortars. We can attack that with a helicopter. I doubt it can fire any reaction fire anyway. We don't have to go after it right now. There we go. I'm just gonna have to take that out. And if the missiles see anything, probably not. Even if we would be, yeah, no. There's a chance you might be able to spot something from this location. Because of the movement, we're unlikely to hit, but still, it's probably the only target we might be able to fire at. Perfect. We're seeing something new again. More infantry, maybe? They have to have something besides the infantry still here, though. 13. Yeah, I'm seeing the machine gun deployed there, but I think that's about it. 16. Okay, we have to be careful now. I have to shoot at that one. I can't try to move past it, it'll fire at me, and at that range, it'll probably hit. But what the hell am I seeing? Yeah, nothing particularly useful. Need to pull back or go deep in. But there aren't any infantry squads here anymore. That's the important part. We can continue harassing the mortars, I guess. Don't think we should be too hasty with this. There are very likely extra missile teams here somewhere. They just haven't fired upon anything at the moment. So I'm gonna park my vehicles on the right side of this river. Let the helicopters take a look at the close by buildings and then try to sort of squeeze through under cover of smoke. Ooh, an actual vehicle. Infantry. We'll go here. It's very unlikely that they'll have a unit here at the corner. 22 targets. 2 vehicles. Two vehicles only. Ah, just hold your ground for now. Right, there shouldn't be any troops here, but we might still take a look. Nothing to lose. We do have to take down that unit, the anti-tank missile team. It's not gonna be the only one, but we might as well grip the ones we see. It's basically in a position to fire at our flanks, so that's pretty bad. And there's nothing particularly wrong with the missiles there. I have a lot of weak. I think I have I have 3 units that have decent armor. Everyone else has light armor, so I will not survive anti-tank missile hits. Right, now the important helicopters. There's 2 vehicles we should be able to see. Not bad. Right. So we need to take position to the right side of the river, cleanse all the infantry on that side, prepare to do a push over the river in a turn or two. Use that time to flush out extra anti-tank squads they will have here. Have smoke ammunition? Yes, plenty. Getting here is very risky though. I mean pushing through here rather. Might want to consider firing the smoke on this side instead. Here we will have to have a fairly decent spread of it. And I don't even know if these buildings contain anything. I think this smoke will last for another turn, so we'll leave it at that. We'll stay behind that. Hope that it'll protect us. We could use some extra smoke here, I suppose. Right, we can be fired upon from this direction though. But not from any of the buildings, so it's probably the smoke from this prevents shooting well enough. At the same time, the better portable anti-tank missiles, we also have electronics that aid with your targeting. So they're more or less like a vehicle in what you can see. Better ones should be able to see through smoke. Not sure how good they are on the opposition side though. So do they have that high quality equipment or not? Basically we'll know if missiles start raining on us, and that's the first time we'll know. Not much I can do about that. I don't think I want to do all that much now. Just need to be prepared to explore these buildings. Okay, trying to push the law units, the anti-tank versions there, that seems foolish. Don't see what the hell would I gain from that. You're immobilized. Right, there aren't really any good targets for us to even fire at. Anything I can do? Transport helicopters. These could achieve something very, very useful. Could basically go anywhere on the map now already and try to take over something. The benefit would be that they will have a reaction to it. Their HQ is probably in this building or there. We would want to take a place that we can protect. Right, I think I'll bring the transport helicopters here. This is a very protected place. We'll see what kind of mischief we can do with them. I'll close this gap just to be sure. Right, then our sacrificial APC unit. Good call. First ambush. We're in surprisingly good condition, and also highlights that the helicopter scouting isn't exactly infallible. Four additional units revealed. Probably the most of it. But the heavy defenders are at the center. Still, UEs. I could go for these flags instead, but the mortars are causing me a little bit of problem. I'll just drop you here. Can destroy a mortar with a single shot, I'm pretty sure about that. Their engineering squads, they have flamethrowers and the like. Not that bad. We still need to do something about that mortar. I sort of want to go for the flags. We don't necessarily need to drop troops on the flags right this second. I think it's vital to us penetrating defenses without having to be ambushed every 5 seconds. Right. They're not totally out of the fight, but we did enough damage to them that they probably can't kill the engineers. fairly harmless unit here, but I don't want to be so close to them. Harmless or not. Right. So he has to react to this somehow. Has to. This is not an optional thing. He will lose very quickly if he doesn't do something about that. I probably should disable the mortar, otherwise I might lose an infantry squad for no reason. Right, I'm fairly certain I spotted a vehicle. Okay, everyone has to go at this point. We're going to... Ooh, yeah, where are the anti-tank units? All the way up here. One down. And we're out of shots. This is a bit risky, especially with the command unit. Where are the rest? Definitely more, yeah, that's one. Not quite sure what they can and can't see. Not like it matters too much. I can't exactly take the chance that they're just somehow not seeing me. You see other targets. I'd like to see where their HQ unit is. That's a good kill. Right, anything else? We don't really need to do anything to these infantry squads. The vehicles can handle them. What we do need to do is make sure that these squads are the squads that are available here. How team? Machine gun was not a danger to us really, but we are dropping infantry now here too, so this actually is a bit of a problem. Didn't intend to land, but whatever. That one has to go. It can fire upon our infantry squads. Or at least could fire upon our infantry squad. Making sure there aren't that many expectations. Someone is... No. The mortar is destroyed. That squad probably can't see because there's a huge amount of flame there. And even if it does, it would have to move, maybe gets a couple of shots, goes a shovel, and then it dies. So it could be slightly inconvenient, which is not that big of a problem. I don't think there were additional vehicles anywhere, so I'm keeping the missile launcher guys where they are. Right. Already infantry squad, that's a problem. Died. Yep. I knew it. Still did it though. The crew, as long as the crew survives, it doesn't matter. The crew is the important part. Surely something can actually see it. Yep. How aggressively do we want to push forward? I don't think in a turn it really is really gonna matter. Firing on everything that's ready to go. Probably going to act more or less just as a suppression fire. Not gonna kill anything. Not that that matters too much. We also have so much time still that we don't have to rush into those dangerous situations. We can take our time. So we can choose between a wide variety of retreating units. Not a bad kill. These guys will never see action. We'll get them to the battlefield fast quickly enough, I suppose. I'm not sticking Abramses there though. If that drives into an ambush, that could be enough of a casualty that I can't compensate with the weak amount of units the enemy has left. Like a couple of tanks, couple of AA units, couple of missiles, and then a huge amount of infantry. That's under 1,000 points. So if I take more than 100 points in casualties, we are basically going to lose anyway, no matter what. Well, we can't do a decisive victory. I don't know if we need a decisive victory, but we sort of had to assume that that's always going to be needed. Retreating is not good enough. Rotate. Right, need to pick targets. There's a retreating machine gun there. Retreating isn't their character. They can easily become pinned and start firing on us. It wasn't particularly dangerous for us. Still, I'm not displeased the way we treated in that situation. Oh shit. Anti-tank team. Well, it's retreating, so at least it's disabled fairly well. Yeah, I'm not taking the ammo trucks anywhere. Someone looks at them with a mean glare, they're gonna explode, so they're not exactly the units we want to use here. And our sacrificial APC. Right. Not great, not bad. But this is the thing. The victory was never in question with such an overwhelming discrepancy in the forces we have. It just, can we avoid getting the expensive losses? You'd have to walk into a lot of ambushes directly to screw this one up. You have plenty of time too, so I don't see how that could really be possible. Right, you should be ready to move. Well, we can at least make sure that this squad isn't going to be able to move in the west. Just pinned. As I said, we have plenty of time, so I think we're gonna just take positions and wait to see what happens. We have about 21 points in casualties. Right, you need to go. We don't have a huge amount of ammo, right, around 6-7 shots, so we'll have to be somewhat careful. I'm not gonna keep firing at routed squads, for example. I'm gonna try to make more squads in that condition. The helicopters have enough kills already in this mission, so if they don't get any extra, that's fine. There's probably some infantry in the surrounding buildings I'm not seeing at the same time. I don't think there's going to be all that much. I have flown over this area with quite a few helicopters multiple times over. That's gotta make a difference. Where's disperse? Okay. Routed. I think most action is needed here. These units are in fairly good shape still, and this is one of the main access roads for the ground troops, so this isn't good enough. Hin is not good enough. But it's starting to look fairly secure here. The targets we want to go after. There's already crew. It doesn't really have the weapons to be all that dangerous, but it will react. Ooh, that's an anti-tank. And someone else is gonna have to take care of it. You can just retreat. You don't have to do a goddamn thing anymore. Right. Do we... Okay, we do have to take care of the anti-tank unit first. Trying to go... drive vehicles in there now that we know it's there. It's a pretty risky thing to do. seems routed here too. Just can't see anyone anymore. We're running out of ammunition. Ammunition too. Yeah, this guy has 6 high explosive shots for the Gatling gun. That's good. I haven't seen anything particularly useful. We have one Super Cobra left. I'll leave that just in case there's something unexpected coming our way. In theory, they might be able to cover their morale enough that they could still pose a threat with some of these infantry squads. But the more I think about it, I don't see how they really could. I mean, we've fired upon them quite a bit. We've destroyed their command units and so forth, so there's quite a lot of things bringing their morale down. It's not just gonna magically jump up even with a few successes, but it's still theoretically possible that it does. If you get lucky, you can do it, but you have to get very, very, very lucky to be able to pull that one. Still, impossible it is not. So it's definitely not a sensible thing to just keep driving those vehicles there. We really have nothing to gain by it, and we could risk everything turning to shit. Well, if he has some kind of stationary unit somewhere, he's definitely gonna start moving them towards the flag. He's losing badly. And we do have the Yuis. I think this is pretty much the only squad that had a theoretical chance of being able to do something. It does not have anymore. Yeah, the casualties are too high in the squad, so it might be able to get into a position where it stops fleeing. It's going to be very hard to get to a position where it is capable of doing something. Although this is actually in a much better condition, or was at least. Now the casualties are piling. We more or less need to just drive north on the next turn, that'll be it. These can easily be taken by whatever. Any surprises? No, it's alright. So this is pretty much a wrap on this mission. Anything else? Got the flags, got the flags, got the flags, and we have the flags. So, right. $1,090 versus 18. So we lost a fighting vehicle. It was 354 men, 3 artillery pieces, 15 fighting vehicles. Still a very small scale fight. These type of fights favor the player because they have a much more expensive force and it's more experienced. So these are things where you can lose a certain victory, but it's hard to really get properly defeated in a mission like this. I'm not actually even sure if the campaign continues. This seems like we're basically taking control of the capital now, so what's left? Pixel. I think I'll change these to paladins, although what's the point? We're going to use the helicopters anyway instead of these. The technology is just so developed that it doesn't make any sense to use the self-propelled artillery units. You'd have to get into a very tight fight where every unit counts. And we are not in such fights. I do think, well, it's basically the smoke, the ability to fire smoke and destroy buildings and suppress infantry at long ranges, that's the useful part. They work well with the long-range missile platforms. Also with tanks, because American tanks don't really have ammunition to the standard high explosive ammunition on the main gun anymore. They're anti-tank weapons mainly, at least the tank versions I have. So the machine guns are there to deal with the infantry, and that's it. Is there a continue? May 1st, 1997. While our forces have driven the Chinese forces out of Taipei, the rest of the Chinese army has entrenched in the northeast portion of Taiwan. Despite the US Navy's best efforts to interdict their supplies, China is still able to send some supplies and reinforcement to Taiwan. In addition to these problems, China has rebuilt many of their silkworm missile sites along the coast. These missiles continue to plague our fleet. United States Marines must end this war quickly as public support is eroding and several nations are calling for a ceasefire. Command sees this as an opportunity to go for a bold strike into China. An amphibious assault will be launched upon the southeast coast of China near Amoy. The US 1st and 3rd Marine Divisions will spearhead the attack, followed up by the US Army 10th Corps. Our goal is to secure a beachhead and then take the port city of Haicheng. This will destroy China's ability to supply her forces in Taiwan and her missile sites. If you succeed in this offensive, it will finally persuade China to accept the sovereignty of Taiwan. Our forces are to secure the beachhead. Is it only the beachhead? This could be the final mission. Or is it the beachhead, then attack on the port city of Haicheng? Is it an assault? Amphibious landing. Proper amphibious landing, hopefully. Usually they're just... Yeah, this is not a amphibious... it is a proper amphibious landing. I haven't had all as many of these. This is a good place to lose a lot of troops without being able to fire one shot. So, highly probable they have a huge amount of defenses here. We have to somehow deal with that. Hopefully the helicopters are in operating condition, otherwise we're in deep shit. Right, 450 points, that's quite a lot. And we definitely want to buy extra gunships, as many as we can. We get free landing craft for the other units. Yeah, I'd rather take 6 Super Cobras here than anything else. I might be able to get some artillery. Not even decent artillery. Riverboats then? A gun, a couple of machine guns, and a flamethrower. Best part would be that these actually have some armor. So they would be decent suppression vehicles. I don't know what else we could really... Ooh. Yeah, you could have bought a very decent artillery here. I think I'll buy 3-inch naval guns. I'm mostly interested in buying smoke screens, really. Right. So we have to travel on the water quite a bit. That's probably the most defended side because there's a road leading directly from that. 18 turns, quite a long time. Visibility is amazing. I think we should go from one of the edges. It allows us to focus the smoke screen more effectively. If we go from the center, it leaves openings from all sides. And we don't know where exactly the opponents are. Helicopters seem to be helicopters, that's great. So they're not packed in. That's the big thing. Also, I don't understand why everything is packed like this though. Okay. There's really no cover for any of us. Right. The landing vehicles are gonna try to get to the beach here. These are the boat cobras for this mission specifically. Gonna spread them a little bit to the north of the regular positions. We are somewhat vulnerable to artillery with this, I know, but usually I found the best way to try to just do things is to try to push for landing as quickly as possible and not try to mess with anything. You are going to be at risk of a little bit of damage no matter what you do, and that's just the nature of things. You can't escape that. Trying to make it complicated just delays the time it takes for you to reach ground. Artillery. Right. We are mostly interested in smoke. They have they don't have a lot of smoke, so it's going to be of questionable use. The biggest problem is targets here, no matter what we do. So it would be great if someone would at least fire some smoke there. Another would be... well, they don't want any action from this side. And then here, sure how effective it's going to be, doesn't particularly matter.